The second application skill is making requests. This is the ability to manage inmate behavior by making specific requests of them. Knowing the appropriate way to make a request will improve the chances of inmates cooperating with you. Specific requests let inmates know exactly what you expect of them, and like all human beings, inmates will respond more favorably to a reasonable and flexible approach than they will to an arbitrary order. By making most requests in a reasonable and respectful manner first, you can become more forceful if you have to. If you start out by ordering inmates to do something, you limit your options if the inmate doesn't comply immediately. Like handling requests, the first step in making requests is to check things out. Use your sizing up skills to determine the mood and attitude of the inmates. If there seems to be tension in the air, make sure that whatever action you take when making your request is appropriate. The second part of making requests is taking action. Taking action means selecting the best way to make your request. Remember, it's important to be specific when asking an inmate to do something. Tell the inmate what you want, when you want it, how you want it done, and where it is to be done. Also, remember that it's how the request is made that often makes the difference in the inmate's response, not the nature of the request. Be direct, polite, and clear. Of course, sometimes direct orders are more appropriate. For example, in an emergency, you must size things up and then decide what is appropriate for each situation. Now let's hear what our panel has to say about making requests.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to size up the entire situation, who the inmate is, what's happening, what needs to be done, and I'm going to look at the inmate, his cooperation level with me in the past, his mood in the moment. Is he upset about something before I determine how I'm going to make that request? I'm always going to try to start with a mild format or a please, or would you please, or can you do this for me? Because that gives me somewhere to go. If I always start with commands and say, you're going to do this, if the inmate refuses, I don't have anywhere to go other than escalating to physical force to get him to comply.
Now let's stop and give you time to work with your instructor.